Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Neha Bhardwaj. This is Game On, where you get the latest from the world of sports. And as we slip into the weekend, let's get you all the top stories on Friday. After a year after leading the Corbo Lorbo Jeetbo gang to glory, Shreyas Iyer now stands in the way of Kolkata Knight Riders' playoff qualification. The KKR will now be up against the Shreyas Iyer-led revamped Punjab Kings in a high-stakes Indian Premier League clash at the Eden Gardens tomorrow. 12 months ago, Iyer had led KKR to their first IPL title in a decade. On Saturday, he returns in opposition colours at the helm of a rejuvenated Punjab side, chasing a playoff spot. Let go by KKR in one of the most surprising off-season moves. Iyer has found both comfort and purpose in Punjab Kings. Reuniting with his old Delhi Capitals mentor Ricky Ponting, the duo have steadied PBKS into the top 5 of the table with 5 wins from 8 games. The partnership has given Iyer the space to lead confidently, and he has tallied 263 runs with 3 half-centuries so far. However, he comes into the weekend game carrying 3 single-digit scores. Saturday offers him the perfect chance to make a statement, much like KL Rahul did the other night against his former franchise Lucknow Super Giants with a composed 57 not out. Iyer too could have a Rahul-like moment under the Eden lights. KKR, on the other hand, are in desperate need of momentum. With 5 defeats in 8 matches, another stumble could tighten their already narrow path to the playoffs. Their top order remains unsettled, the middle order erratic, and the spin attack ineffective on a surface they once called their fortress. KKR's middle order trio of Russell, Rinku and Ramandeep, they failed to deliver the finishing punch this season, prompting calls for a shake-up. The team may be forced to bring in Caribbean all-rounder Rovman Powell, whose power hitting and handy pace can add the much-needed spark and balance. Alcaraz Raghuvanshi, one of the few bright spots in KKR's batting, might once again look to negotiate the tricky phase when the likes of Arshdeep Singh, who is Punjab's leading wicket-taker with 11 wickets, and Yuzvendra Chahal operate. Skipper Ajinkya Rahane too will be under the scanner, having anchored the innings well at times but struggled to shift gears and finish games. He will be wary of Yuzvendra Chahal, who dismantled KKR in their demoralising 95 all-out collapse only last week by claiming the wickets of Rahane, Raghuvanshi, Rinku Singh and Ramandeep Singh in a devastating spell. With Marco Jansen providing the early menace and new find Nihal Vadra managing tidy finishes, PBKS certainly look a more confident and a well-rounded outfit. For KKR's bowling unit, Harshit Rana's duel with PBKS opener Priyansh Arya could set the tone. Arya smashed a century against Chennai Super Kings earlier this season. Despite their troubles, KKR, however, are still alive in the playoffs race. Winning 5 of their remaining 6 games could be sufficient, but anything less would leave them dependent on other results. For this to happen, KKR must fix their home record, which is just 1 win from 4 matches here. The much publicized friction with Eden curator Sujan Mukherjee over pitch preparations has drawn unwanted attention and debates over spin-friendly surfaces, fairness and even calls from commentators to consider shifting base. Despite it being a slow and grippy wicket, which is exactly what KKR wanted, Sunil Narine has taken just 2 wickets at the Eden. Varun Chakravarti has been marginally better, while Moeen Ali, he has failed to strike in 2 matches. Rajasthan Royals faced their 7th defeat in 9 matches in the season, falling out in yet another run chase during the match against RCB last night. Not once but twice, in fact not once, not twice but thrice in a row, Rajasthan Royals have messed up achievable targets to be all but eliminated from the playoffs race of the IPL this season. Indian cricket legend Sunil Gavaskar, now he has expressed his confusion and disappointment over the Rajasthan Royals' lackluster performance in this edition of the IPL after their 5th consecutive defeat in the season. After a narrow 11-run loss to Royal Challengers Bengaluru on Thursday, Gavaskar questioned the team's approach to the game, especially considering the presence of Rahul Dravid as their head coach. He said, and I quote, With Rajasthan Royals, I'm actually talking about the early matches where I wasn't at the ground, I just saw them. So you're not always able to get the feeling of what's really happening. But here, I was at the ground and you could actually see the kind of cricket that was being played. And with someone like Rahul Dravid as the coach, it was quite baffling. It was unthinking cricket. Dravid was always so precise in his thinking, and I would have thought that kind of approach would have seeped into some of the Rajasthan batters. The legendary cricketer questioned the team's thought process during crucial matches. He said, "Where is the thought process here? You can't expect inexperienced players to always get it right, but still, it's just a different kind of cricket." Olympic gold medalist Neeraj Chopra has issued a statement clarifying the controversy surrounding the invitation extended to Pakistani javelin thrower Arshad Nadeem for the upcoming Neeraj Chopra Classic in Bengaluru. Neeraj said the invite was extended to Arshad and the other top athletes 2 days before the terror attack in Pahalgam, which killed 26 people and left several others injured. He added that the invitation was made from one athlete to another with the goal of promoting world-class competition in India. Neeraj said the invite was extended to Arshad and the other top athletes 2 days before the terror attack in Pahalgam. He added also that the invitation was made from one athlete to another, like I said, with the goal of prompting world-class competition in India. But following the attack, Neeraj confirmed that Arshad Nadeem's participation in the event is completely out of question. He said, and I quote, "There has been so much talk about my decision to invite Arshad Nadeem to compete in the Neeraj Chopra Classic, and most of it has been hate and abuse. They haven't even left my family out of it. The invitation I extended to Arshad was from one athlete to another, nothing more, nothing less. The aim of the NC Classic was to bring the best athletes to India and for our country to be the home of world-class sporting events. Invites had gone out to all athletes on Monday, 2 days before the terrorist attacks at Pahalgam. After all that has taken place over the last 48 hours, Arshad's presence in the NC Classic was completely out of question." Earlier this week, Neeraj had addressed a press conference where he confirmed the initial list of participants in NC Classic, also confirming that the event had been moved to Bengaluru from his home state in Haryana. And last night, the organizers confirmed that the final list of the international participants and Arshad's, in that final list, Arshad's name was absent. To which he again added and said, "I usually am a man of few words, but that doesn't mean I will not speak up against what I think is wrong, more so when it comes to questioning my love for our country and the respect and honor of my family. My country and its interests will always come first. To those that are going through the loss of their people, my thoughts and prayers are with you. Along with the entire nation, I'm both hurt and angry at what has taken place. I'm confident that our country's response will show our strength as a nation and justice will be served." Neeraj further expressed disappointment at what he called false narratives being spread by certain sections of the media, adding that while he is usually a man of few words, he felt the need to speak out to protect his family's dignity and make his position clear. He said, "I've carried my country with pride for so many years now, and so it hurts to see my integrity being questioned. It pains me that I have to explain myself to people who are targeting me and my family with no good reason. We are simple people. Please do not make us out to be anything else. There are so many false narratives that certain sections of the media have created around me, but just because I do not speak up, it doesn't make it true." Real Madrid midfielder Eduardo Camavinga suffered a groin injury during Wednesday's 1-0 La Liga win at Getafe, and the Frenchman is ruled out for the rest of the season. The 22-year-old was withdrawn at halftime, and Real confirmed that he suffered a complete tear of his left adductor tendon, an injury that club sources said would sideline the French international for 3 months. Camavinga, who has played 34 games for Real in all competitions this season, will also miss the Club World Cup in June-July. The injury is a big blow to the Madrid side ahead of their Copa del Rey final against Barcelona on Saturday, with Kylian Mbappe, Ferland Mendy and David Alaba also injury doubts. Real are second in La Liga, 4 points behind Barcelona with 5 rounds left in the season. Coach Claudio Ranieri and his AS Roma players were among those who paid homage to Pope Francis in St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican yesterday. St. Peter's Basilica opened its doors again after a brief closure in the early hours to welcome crowds of worshippers from around the world lining up to pay their final respects to Pope Francis. After the transfer of the pontiff's body from Santa Marta to St. Peter's Basilica, thousands of faithful were flocking for a final farewell while awaiting the funeral scheduled for Saturday at 10 a.m. local time. AS Roma's match against Inter Milan that was postponed due to his death and Pope Francis' funeral, which the Vatican announced will take place on Saturday. The decision came after the Italian government had announced on Tuesday a 5-day national mourning for the Pope. He's the head of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics. He died at his home in the Vatican on Monday at the age of 88 after suffering a stroke. And players and fans of Inter and AC Milan also joined together to pay tribute to Pope Francis before their team's Coppa Italia meeting earlier this week. Players from the clubs stood in the middle of the pitch with arms linked together as images of Pope Francis, who died on Monday, were shown on large screens at the San Siro Stadium. While fans applauded, the match itself saw AC Milan outclass city rivals Inter 3-0 and seal a 4-1 aggregate triumph to reach the final. Carlos Alcaraz has withdrawn from the Madrid Open as he struggled with hamstring and groin injuries. This could be a big blow to his preparations for the French Open title defense next month. Alcaraz sustained the injury during the final of the Barcelona Open, where he was denied a third title by Denmark's Holger Rune, who stunned the Monte Carlo Masters champion in straight sets. Alcaraz said that he couldn't practice the entire week and found out that it was due to hamstring and groin injuries. Now, he will have more medical tests on Monday. The reports will determine his return to the court. Alcaraz went on to suggest that his long run to victory at the Monte Carlo Masters, followed by 5 more matches in Barcelona, has pushed his body to breaking point.
Yeah, I mean, in the Barcelona final, I felt something in the left hamstring that I didn't think that it wasn't that serious. But it was. I mean, I'm really disappointed that I'm not able to play here in Madrid. It is a place that I love playing in front of my people, in front of my family, my friends. That they are not able to travel so much. So here is a special place for me. This injury, I'm not really worried about it. It's just or I believe it's gonna take one week and a half, 2 weeks maximum. But I won't have doubts about coming back and I'm moving 100% again. So, but from these situations, I'm gonna try to learn from the past, trying to deal the best way possible. And yeah, I'm coming from the next tournaments, and yeah, I'm 100%.
Alcaraz had received a bye into the second round, and the 21-year-old was scheduled to play his first match today. There were suggestions that Alcaraz was almost certain to miss the Madrid Open, but the tournament organizers might have been advised to allow the publicity around his docu-series to dominate the news before he changed the narrative with his injury news. The next major tournament in the clay court swing is the Italian Open, a Masters 1000 event from May 7th to 18th in Rome, where world number 1 Yannick Sinner is expected to make a comeback from his doping ban. The French Open main draw gets underway on May 25th. Novak Djokovic believes that Carlos Alcaraz has already reached the level of the legendary top 3. The nickname given to the trio of Djokovic, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal before the latter two's retirements. Speaking yesterday ahead of his opening round match at the Madrid Open against Italy's Matteo Arnaldi, Djokovic added that Alcaraz has achieved more at his age than they had at 21 years old. Djokovic also said that with a long career ahead of him, Alcaraz has the potential to make tennis history, and fans can expect to see the Spaniard on the grandest stages, lifting the biggest trophies for years to come.
We have to remember that his age and what he has done for his age is not also normal. And I'm sure that we'll see a lot of him on the big stage with trophies in the future, whatever, 10 years, 15 years, as long as he's playing. I mean, the competition is always there. You know, I think every generation has its different competition. You know, it's hard to compare eras.
Roger Federer, speaking of the trio, the top three, Roger Federer will serve as the official starter for this year's 24 Hours of Le Mans sports car race in June. The organizers have confirmed this. The Swiss tennis great with 20 Grand Slams to his name will lower the flag to start the 93rd edition of this endurance race at 4 p.m. on June 14th at the Sarthe circuit in northwest France. The Automobile Club, Club de l'Ouest, they invited a well-known international personality to start the race every year. Last year was flagged away by French Soccer World Cup winner Zinedine Zidane. Ferrari have won the last two editions, and Switzerland's Sebastian Buemi is the four-time winner and triumphed most recently with Toyota in 2022. Other Swiss winners are Neil Jani in 2016 and Marcel Fassler in 2011, 2012 and 2014. Former marathon world record holder Eliud Kipchoge has said that he was raring to go ahead of this week's London Marathon. The 2016 and 2020 Olympic marathon champion, who holds an unofficial world record as the only person to have run a marathon distance inside 2 hours, returns to London for the first time since 2020. Kenya's Kipchoge, he's 40 years old. He's a record four-time winner of the London Marathon.
Sport is built by dedication. Sport is built by actual patience. And that's what happened last year. But the proof of a good sport is how and when you wake up. And that's why I'm here. I woke up from what happened last year, and I'm ready actually to be on the road on Sunday.
He was the men's marathon world record holder from 2018 to 2023 until compatriot Kelvin Kiptum surpassed him at the 2023 Chicago Marathon. Kipchoge will face Sebastian Saul, who won his marathon debut, in fact, in Valencia. Reigning Berlin Marathon champion Mikesa Mangesha and Abdi Nagy, who won the latest edition of the New York City Marathon. Jacob Kilmino will also race in the men's field, making his marathon debut. U.S. President Donald Trump criticized the wave of sports teams that have altered their team names to omit references to the Native American heritage. There are examples like Cleveland Indians changing their name to Cleveland Guardians in 2022 and the Washington Commanders becoming Washington Redskins in 2020. Both the teams had changed their names after public outcry. Asked about the Major League Baseball teams renaming, Trump said that the teams were trying to be degrading, in fact, to the Indian population, and it's a great population. The U.S. president also wondered, why would you take the name Indians off the Cleveland Indians? It's now called the Cleveland something else. This is exactly what he said. He said, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Chiefs, they call themselves the Chiefs, or the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not changing their name. A great team, great people, great owners, great coach and quarterback. I love the quarterback. I like that team. They're called the Chiefs. And frankly, I see nothing wrong with it. They call them the Warriors, and not that team, but a lot of other teams. And all of these Indian surnames and different names. And I'm saying that I think that's a positive thing. And when you go back to Indians, they poll this. They don't know why these names are being taken off. They're trying to, I think it's degrading to the Indian population, and it's a great population. and they like when they're, called by various names. Now, Washington, the Redskins, perhaps that's a little bit different, but I can tell you that I spoke to people of Indian heritage that love that name and they love that team, and I think it's I think it's a superior name to what they have right now, and it had heritage behind it. It had something special. But a lot of the names having to do with, different places, not just Indians, but I think they changed the name of the Cleveland Indians. Why would you take the name Indians off the Cleveland Indians? And now it's called the Cleveland something else.
With that, it's a wrap on Game On. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.